Hi, welcome everybody. This is Administration and Public Works Committee. First item on the agenda is approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of October 9. Could I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any objections or corrections, etc.? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Alderman Braithwaite, payroll and bills.
Madam Chair, I'd like to move item A1 payrolls September 18th through October 1st in the dollar amount of $2,689,86.27. And I'd also like to move item A2.1, the bills list, October 24th. And also,
Stop there.
okay.
So, pardon me.
I got it.
Take it one at a time.
Okay. Through the period ending the 31st, right? All those in favor of A1 and A2.1, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Right. Okay, A2.2, Alderman Braithwaite.
Sure. I'd like to move item 2.2, Amazon credit card activity period ending in August 31st, 2017, in dollar amount of $11,558.41.
Could I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions?
I abstain.
Any opposed? All those in favor say aye.
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 There you go. All right, next is an agreement with, our staff is recommending an agreement that the city manager execute an agreement with this for the City of Evanston's inspection of large diameter water mains with Pure Technologies in the not-to-exceed amount of $578,940. I move approval.
Second.
Okay.
I just had a quick question.
Alderman Braithwaite.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Dave, just a quick question. It's a big project. I know we need to do it with a huge sticker price, and I just wanted to get a little bit of insight in terms of the $15,000 a day, and heaven forbid something goes wrong.
Good evening, Chair and members of the committee. Dave Stomack, Public Works Agency Director. The $15,000 a day is only if there's a weather condition. So we don't anticipate that. We would schedule the work so that they should not hit it. In fact, the work is scheduled to occur during the fall. So we don't think there'll be rain events that would postpone the work. But they gave us a price, and we just wanted to make sure the council was aware of it. This is very expensive equipment to come out here. A lot of the cost has to deal with mobilization.
Okay.
And then I just also want to indicate that these are the mains that are primarily used in addition for Evanston, to our wholesale water customers. And so this work is an asset that will increase the value of that asset, and part of this cost will then be shared by some of our wholesale water customers that use those water mains.
So it'll recoup some of it back. All right. Thank you.
All of our water customers share in this cost?
It would not be the Northwest Water Commission,
But Skokie?
Skokie, and then eventually Morton Grove and Niles.
So explain one more time the importance of these pipes.
The 48-inch main that's on Lincoln Street is the largest water main that we have in Evanston, and it delivers the water out of the water plant into the Evanston distribution system. The two 36-inch mains are connected to 24-inch mains that help circulate water throughout the city of Evanston, but then they continue on to Emerson and McCormick, which is where the Skokie's major connection point is, and that will also be the major connection point in the future for Morton Grove and Niles.
So these three pipes deliver water everywhere we need water to get to.
They are very critical mains in the city of Evanston, yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. All right. All those in favor of recommending the council approve this, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Alderman Simmons.
Staff recommends that City Council authorize City Manager to execute a contract for the purchase of anthracite with Carbonite Filter Corporation in the amount of $23,116.96. This is for action.
Second.
Any discussion on this? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Alderman Sufferton?
A 3.3 is authorizing the sale of rock salt to Evanston School District 202 in the amount of $52.08 per ton for the period from November 15th to April 15th.
Yes.
This was, apologize, Madam Chair, members of the committee, this was one that the dates needed to say 17 and 18, and our apologies. But those are the dates for which it will be good for.
The next one has the correct dates. All right.
Correct.
Alderman Sufferton, how about the next one also?
Sure. A 3.4 is sale of rock salt to Evanston School District 65 in the same amount during the same time period.
Same deal. We also deliver. All those in favor, could I have a second? for both?
Second.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor of both A3 and A3.3 and 3.4, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Next, Alderman Fleming.
A 3.5 is staff recommending the city council authorize the city manager to execute an agreement with GovSense and NetSuite Oracle to provide a rental inspection and registration software for the city of Evanston. The software for the platform license and support for 1 year will be in the amount of $21,960.58 and $21,356.18 in year number 2. It's a one-time implementation with training costs, and it's going to be capped at $18,500. And this is for action. Funds will come from the local health protection grant and the community development block grant for action.
Okay. Second.
Second.
Second. Let's see, who is this? Is this Alderman
Robin.
Simmons? Okay. Go ahead.
Is this a renewal? I'm sorry, or are we using this now? Or what are we using now?
Good evening, members of City Council, Assistant City Manager Lyons, Luke Stowe, Chief Information Officer. We're currently using largely paper-based and/or Microsoft Access. So this will be a dramatic improvement over our current process.
Okay.
Okay.
Don't go away. Don't go away.
Sorry.
Sorry. I heard a while back that we were using some kind of database software to deal with our inspections.
Yeah, a lot of
We really weren't. Is that correct?
a lot of it is paper-based in the field, and then when it comes back to the office, a lot of it's entered into Microsoft Access database, which is an antiquated database. So we're looking to get away from that to a much more modern solution, which will be cloud-based.
I think
Well,
you heard about that when we did the landlord leasing.
Yeah.
We
I mean,
made that
if
complaint.
this works like, I read every word of this, and if this works like it says it does, this is phenomenal.
It's a huge step forward.
Absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah.
My professional life was involved with real estate management, and this is like a dream come true if this really works.
It is.
I did have a question about one thing on page, and I have a note on here someplace. Let's see. On page 92, I think it is, there is a reference to 2 users. I didn't know what that meant. Do you know what that means? Let me see if I can find it.
It's possible 2 administrative users. I know that we've negotiated with them recently to add additional user license.
I didn't know what that meant.
So-
I mean, did that mean 2 departments or 2 people?
I can take a look at that and see if I can answer that for you.
Yeah, before here. Support for 2 users on page 93. There's a reference to that. So I'd like to know what that meant.
It's possible that.
And I don't think it means 2 people.
Absolutely not. Yeah. In fact, we recently negotiated with them for additional user licenses.
Yeah.
So it'd be. I'll take a look at that and see if I can get that answered for you.
Have you tested this? Is it real friendly?
It is. It's responsive design, so it works on any device. It's cloud-based. There's security. There's a constituent portal for the landlords to be able to register and update their information. And we looked at a number of different vendors over the past several months on this front.
Will the input of our data be easy? And will we be able to just download into this?
Yeah, absolutely. It has full integration, so there's an open and documented API, which is one of the key reasons we liked this particular platform. It also handles multiple units very well. That's always been a challenge where a large development or a large apartment building where you've got a number of units, it handles that much better than other solutions that we've looked at.
So we're getting a lot of apartment buildings.
Absolutely, exactly.
Madam Chair, I would point out that what Mr. Stowe and his team are doing is the change of when we had large systems such as Excella that would handle a bulk of a lot of our uses, we would then tailor the smaller uses through Access databases or Excel or things like that. And we're going away from that to web-based platforms that are very efficient from both the user experience and the cost. So I know that some of Luke's staff would tell you about that they programmed this in the mid-'90s through Access or with Oracle, and we're not programmers anymore. Yeah. We do it on the web with whether it's HTML or other web-based programming, but not quite the same as it was before, and it's still very efficient. We're not spending six figures on a software system that will be out of date in 3 years. The idea is to go to these smaller systems that we can use and use right away, and then if another comes along in the web, transfer the data. That's one of his biggest goals is open data, that the data here can be used by many sources.
Right, and that's exactly right. So an open and documented API means that the program can talk to other programs. Historically, in the past, sometimes we've had problems with one-off systems that can't talk to anything else, and this system will be able to do that.
All right, thank you very much.
Sure.
All right. All those in favor of recommending to the council this purchase?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Alderman Suffredin, A4.
Item A4 is a resolution 83R17. The staff recommends the city council adopts the resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a collective bargaining agreement with AFSCME effective January 1, 2017 through December 31st, 2018. City council approval will ratify the tentative agreement executed throughout the negotiation process.
Second.
Okay. Any questions? Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Alderman Fleming.
A5 is Resolution 71R17, approving an open data policy for the City of Evanston. Staff is recommending City Council adopt this resolution. Approving the open data policy for City of Evanston, the policy would demonstrate the city's ongoing commitment to open data, transparency, and effective city service.
All right. Any discussion? Yes, Alderman. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Alderman Fleming.
I have a question for staff. So I looked at this and was very excited, and then I looked at, you mentioned, I think it's the Bloomberg Technologies or something that we're trying to, I guess, align ourselves with. Can you tell me what the timeline is? You have in there that you're trying to get the silver level. So what is the timeline for getting the silver level?
Sure, and the way the Bloomberg Philanthropy Foundation's been working is it's been kind of on a rolling basis. So every couple of weeks they announce a new set of 5 cities. So we've been working with them over the last several months. We've submitted applications, we've had conference calls with them, and now we're basically trying to meet a lot of the criteria that silver level certification. So there's no specific deadline or target date, but it's an ongoing basis to try to work with them and meet the criteria for the certification.
Okay, and so is there a way, is there like I assume there's a list of things that they give you that we need to have up on our open data portal in order to get the silver?
Yeah, exactly. All told, the What Works City standard is about 52 different objectives. To meet the silver level certification, I believe it's about 24 objectives, and this happens to be one of the objectives.
Okay, so at another time, maybe you can email me with those. 'Cause
Sure.
I tried to find on their website. I'd be interested to see what they call for us to put up there and then what we
Sure.
do to increase to the next level.
Sure, I'd be happy to share that with you.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of recommending Resolution 71R17 to the council, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? A6, Alderman Braithwaite.
A6 or A6. Resolution, Madam Chair, I'd like to move item A6, Resolution 80-R-17, accepting the grant awards for the senior meal program at the Levy Center and Fleetwood Jourdain Community Center.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none. Great program, by the way.
Yep.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, next item is Resolution 78R17. We're being asked to recommend to the council to authorize the city manager to negotiate and execute a franchise agreement with Collective Resources to provide a standalone food scrap program for all voluntary participating commercial and residential properties within the city of Evanston. Could I have a motion for introduction?
I'll move, or I'll,
Move introduction?
yeah, well, I want to move for induction and also for action.
Well, okay, but we have a speaker. Is that okay? Do you mind?
Oh, yes, no.
Okay.
Please go
All
ahead.
right, could I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Okay. Okay. Erlene Howard, would you like to speak to this?
Yeah.
Hi.
Good evening, Madam Chair
Good evening.
and City Council. It's a pleasure to be here, and as the owner of Collective Resource, I just wanted to say thank you so much for the opportunity and for the time that each of you took to get to know what I want to do for the city and what my company can do for the city, and we're really looking forward to working with you.
Thank you. And also, you provided us with so much interesting information.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Really extensive. Thank you very much.
I'm always here for questions if you have any.
Well, it was really inclusive. Thank you.
Madam Chair, can I make just another quick amendment? The resolution should read franchise agreement with Collective Resource, plural, and scratch the S, just.
Yeah, it's singular, Collective Resource.
Resource.
You got it.
We will make that change.
All right.
It may even be in the, okay. All right. Okay. Okay. This is you, right? Wilson?
Yeah, you can kill that.
All right. Anything else? Mr. Stonebeck, did you want to speak to this?
Yes, please. This is a resolution, so this should be for action and not for introduction.
Okay,
so
well-
I'll apologize for that.
Okay. Yeah, it says resolution, this is introduction. Okay, so we don't need to suspend the rules.
Okay.
It's all done tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay? Yep. Jeez, how did I miss that? All right. All right. So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of Resolution 78R17, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Next is A8. Alderman Simmons?
Ordinance 107017, decreasing the number of Class D liquor licenses for Jilly's Cafe located at 2614 Green Bay Road. Local Liquor Commissioner recommends City Council adoption of Ordinance 107-0-17, decreasing the number of authorized Class D liquor license. This is for introduction.
All right. Is there any reason, Legal Department, why we can't introduce and take action tonight on this? Is it seamless? They're just going to go in? Okay. So why don't we do that? Move suspension and...
I move suspension of the rules and introduction for action. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
And how about taking A9 also, Alderman Simmons?
Okay. Ordinance 108017, increasing the number of Class D liquor licenses for Jilly's Cafe located at 2614 Green Bay Road. The new corporate entity submitted an application for a Class D license under the new ownership. Same thing, suspend the rules.
Let's find, is there any reason for that? Alderman, we'll wait till the alderman of the ward
Okay.
has anything to say. I mean, I don't know if we can always suspend the rules.
Okay, so this is for introduction.
All right. All those in favor of A8, ordinance 107017, say aye.
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 Although, any opposed? All those in favor of introducing 108017, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, moving right along. Alderman Suckerton, A10.
Sure. A10 is an ordinance increasing the number of Class C liquor licenses for Rockin' Ravioli located at 1012 Church Street. And Alderman Wilson requested the suspension of the rules for introduction and action.
Second.
Any discussion? Love the name. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? A11, Alderman Fleming.
Ordinance A11 for ordinance 118-0-17, amending the subsection 3-4-6C of the City Code to allow Class C liquor licenses for the sale of alcoholic liquor to registered hotel guests. And the Liquor Commissioner is recommending we adopt this ordinance authorizing the sale of alcoholic liquor to registered guests of the hotel for which the Class C license holders lease space. This is for action.
Okay.
Second.
Is that this one? Because this is farmhouse.
Yes, Madam Chair, it would be 11, 12, and 13 all deal with farmhouse.
All right.
So if you want to have your speaker.
All right. Yeah, why don't we just do that? T.J. Callahan, would you like to come speak? We have so many ordinances having to do with this. Why don't you speak? And
I understand. Thanks for the opportunity to be here.
Welcome.
The hotel has shut down lunch and dinners.
Explain, first of all, who you are.
I'm the owner of Farmhouse.
There you go.
We have 2 more restaurants in the city, and we've been in business leasing space in the Hilton Arlington Hotel since 2013. The Hilton Hotel has chosen to shut down its own restaurant for lunch and dinner service, which is where the room service for the hotel came from. So the intent of our request and the change of license category is so that Farmhouse can provide alcoholic beverage service to a hotel guest coming out of our restaurant. The hotel's own employees will be the ones that actually deliver to the guest room. So, but the liquor, beer, and wine will be sold under the Farmhouse license.
Interesting. Will you do food too?
Yes.
Lunch and
Lunch and dinner.
good for you. Silver lining.
That's right.
All right, fine. Thanks for the explanation. Yes.
So,
Alderman
quick
Baker.
question. I don't know, you may know this, Alderman Rainey. So currently, we do not allow, for other restaurants, they can't sell liquor, or liquor can't travel outside of the restaurant.
Correct.
Is that- So in this situation, it would be allowed?
I believe the way it's written is that if the restaurant is leasing space from the hotel, which we are,
So then
Not
it
going to
just,
go outside the door.
it can't go outside the doors of the hotel. But
got it.
But if a beer's poured in Farmhouse, it can be served to a hotel guest in their guest room.
Sure. And I'm not fighting. It's just for clarification
Sure.
for other. Why don't we allow that? Just, is there a simple answer?
What's the question?
Why we don't allow liquor to travel outside of restaurants? If
Well,
it's not a
if you
simple.
want- I mean,
They do it in other cities. I'm just asking a question. That's all.
we can't even get an apartment building built. You want to see people drinking on the street?
I don't want to see anyone drinking on the street.
Well, that's
so
what that would be.
That's what you think it would be. All right. It's just,
If they do carry it outside, there's no way to get them to come back in.
I see. I was thinking more if I buy a beer and I want to take it home for carry out. I tried to do that this weekend and I found out I couldn't do it. So it's just-
Actually, you can do that with a growler container, but you cannot do it with a individual size.
okay.
Both the city and the state would be unhappy with us if I were to do that.
Okay. Just curious. Thank you.
He thinks he's in New Orleans. He wishes he were in New Orleans.
Thank you.
That's an excellent explanation. I'm sure
Thank
it
you.
now makes sense to everybody.
It does to me now. I was like, wait a minute. The rules are changing.
All right, who is doing this?
This is, all 3 were read by,
Oh, I just did A11.
All right, can you do the rest?
Sure. A12 ordinance 110-0-17, decreasing the number of Class D liquor licenses for the Farmhouse located at 703 Church Street. This is for introduction. And A13, ordinance 111-0-17, increasing the number of Class C liquor licenses for the Farmhouse restaurant located at 103 Church Street. Do you want me to do 14 as well? Yes.
No.
No. Okay.
Thank you.
Those are for introduction.
Thank you, Alderman Fleming. thank you. It's kind of complicated. All right, all those in favor of A11, say aye.
Aye.
That is for action. All those in favor of A12, introduction, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All those in favor of A13, which is for introduction, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed? All right. Moving right along. A14, Alderman Braithwaite.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move for introduction and action item A14, ordinance 114-0-17, decreasing the number of Class D liquor licenses for Sam's Chicken and Ribs Pizza located at 1639 Orrington Avenue.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Next item on the agenda is A15, ordinance 105-017. It's for introduction. The Transportation Parking Commission and staff recommend the City Council adopt this ordinance, which amends the city code prohibiting parking at certain times to read Kedzie Street, North Side, Sheridan Road, east to the dead end, 9 p.m. to 6 a.m., May 1 to September 30th, and 11 p.m. to 6 a.m., October 1 to April 30th. This is for introduction. I have comment. You know, this is one of the comments that was made is in other areas by the beach, people can't park. Well, I really have a problem with this. And the reason I have a problem with this is in other areas of town, we have restricted parking at night because when residents come home, the people from Chicago, people who, students are parking in there. But this restricts Evanston residents who have paid the wheel tax from parking on their street. And I have a problem with that. I would have no problem with this if it said, unless you're an Evanston resident and you've paid the wheel tax, like we have on the south end of town and other parts of town. What do we call that, Mr. Voss? I don't know the name of that restriction, but Evanston residents should not be disallowed to park. I mean, if it's a neighborhood special permit parking where people pay to restrict you from parking, I guess that's different. I don't like that either. I think those should be abolished going forward. But this isn't that. This is just we put a sign up and say, sorry, you can't park here.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the committee, Assistant City Manager Lyons, Ricky Voss, Fleet Division. This particular one is along the lakefront, and the lakefront has always been an area of concern after certain hours at night, where,
Isn't 11?
where people. Yeah, and this is why after 9 o'clock, and this is why after 11 o'clock during the winter, and this was a concern brought up by the residents that live east of that location, which there's I think three houses on there that all have their own parking.
But it's Kedzie. It's not. Isn't most of that parking Sheridan Road?
No, that's just Kedzie. It's all Sheridan Road. All Sheridan Road
This is
parking on
Kedzie.
the west side is strictly Kedzie, from Sheridan Road to the dead end. There's a circular drive there, and it's adjacent right to the park. In that area, there's a large park.
I'm going to make a reference right now that all that parking exclude people who paid the wheel tax.
Okay.
But this, I think, I don't know, maybe I'm the only one who feels that way, that Evanston residents should be allowed to park.
I have a
I'm
question.
not saying overnight, but I don't think they should be restricted at 9 o'clock at night when it's 90 degrees out in the summer. If you live 3 miles away from the beach, you can't walk there. And sometimes you've got kids and you want to go over there. And I just think it's just really elitist and very restrictive. Okay, I have Alderman Simmons and I have Alderman Fleming. Simmons and Fleming.
I support that.
Motion to vote it down then.
Alderman Fleming?
So I have a question. Does this, because I remember last year coming to City Council as a citizen to protest, I think there were some other parking restrictions a little bit further south where I live, kind of along that beach. Does this mirror that same time frame?
Yes, and what this does is this is consistent with the entire lakefront. The entire lakefront becomes prohibitive at 9 o'clock at night in the summer,
Yeah.
and then again at 11 o'clock at night in the winter hours. This is consistent with the entire lakefront area.
And is the logic of the neighbors, because I remember this conversation last year, was that there was some behavior coming over that they didn't like. So is the logic of these neighbors that at nighttime the beach is closed, so no one should be parking there, they should have a right to park in front of their place because no one's on the beach in the evening?
This was more, the couple people I talked to down there, the neighbors I spoke with down there, were more concerned with not the other district that's on the next agenda item, was more concerned with that after 9 o'clock, everybody would float down to that park and the noise and stuff that comes from the park, because there was no restrictive, because the parks close at a different hour, but the restriction after 9 o'clock means that everybody has to move their cars away from the park, and it became overparked.
Okay,
then.
so I have another question. So do we, and I wasn't at the transportation meeting for this conversation, so did we talk to the police? Is there a huge problem with people being in the park and loitering and noise and such, or is this just kind of a hypothetical in case people come to the park?
It's a hypothetical. There was
so
no
then, yeah.
conversations with the police.
Okay, so then I do not support that then.
I don't have a problem with 11 o'clock at night. That's fine. But from 9 to 11 o'clock at night in the summer, I don't mind keeping out people from Skokie. I don't mind keeping out people from Chicago. But people from Evanston should be able to park on the streets in the city of Evanston at that time. They just should.
So we'll just vote no.
Or I don't know what we're going to do with it. I don't
Let's
know.
start with a no, and then we can still have to bring it back with something that makes sense.
Right. So, well, I'll move it for introduction, and then you can vote it down.
Yep.
Okay?
Need a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no.
No. Bring it back, something that
Should I
makes sense.
have a show of hands? Alderman Suffredin, did you vote no? I did vote. Okay, so that's unanimous.
Unanimous. Good call out. I would have missed that. Thank you.
Next,
A16.
Alderman Simmons.
Ordinance 106017, this is for introduction. The Transportation Parking Commission and staff recommend that the City Council adopt ordinance 106017, amending of City Code Section 101118, resident-only parking, District R, 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. daily, adding 26 diagonal parking spaces on the east side of Sheridan Square as residential parking only as a 24-hour restriction for introduction.
I second, but I have a question.
Yes, Alderman Fleming.
All right, so in the same vein, so this would be resident only all the time?
24 hours a day.
Yeah, okay. So, and what is our logic for this one?
This is, and a little correction, I don't know who did the initial writing on this, but the memo actually says 22 diagonal spaces. This is the one that you had mentioned in our previous conversation about the problem and concerns about illegal and immoral activity along the Park District. There on Sheridan Square. That was the previous conversation based on the residents and the elected official of the ward. We sat down there and we did an experiment, first of all, a couple years ago, and we restricted the parking for 44 spaces and then also restricted the number of hours you could spend overall down in the area. And we found that that was strictly a pilot and found it to be extremely unsuccessful and didn't warrant the way it was set up. So we came back with a different recommendation to reduce the number of actual spaces so the residents could get access at any time to 22, but then lifted any restrictions until the 9 p.m. District R permit kicked in from 9 to 6. So in other words, there's about 100 and I want to say there's about 72 or 78 spaces available all the time during the day for other people to come down and enjoy the park, enjoy the beach. And then at 9 o'clock, the District R that's been there for years would kick in for the entire district. It would only be these 22 spaces on the east side of the street that would be strictly for District R permit holders so they could have access to the residents all day long.
So just to clarify, so the new restriction of District R from 9 to 6 takes over for the, used to be like 2-hour limited parking. Is that correct, or do we still have the 2-hour?
The experiment was 3-hour limited parking. The 9 to 6 restriction's been there for years.
Right, but this would remove the 3-hour limited during the day.
This will remove the 3-hour limit during the day, just those 22 spaces out of the 108, I think, total.
Okay, we have something like this on Clyde.
Yes.
And we call it Lot 18, and it's a city parking lot, and we charge people $50 a month. It's a city parking lot. We're giving these people a city parking lot for free. I would suggest that if they want this 24 hours a day, we charge them, well, the new parking price for all new parking spaces is $60 a month. It's a city parking lot. I mean, do we have any place that's 24 hour for free parking that nobody else can park in?
We have a couple districts that do have 24-hour restrictions, yes, ma'am.
But this is really isolated, though.
And Madam Chair, can I?
We got to start looking at this.
Yeah, can I?
This is getting really, really over the top.
Can I make a reference and ask that you bring back those other two districts so we can take a look at them as well?
I will pass the information on to the new parking
But
manager.
it's curb
so it can be
parking,
done.
right?
It's curb parking, yes, ma'am.
They're blocks of neighborhood parking.
It's curb parking, that's why there's no fee assessed.
Okay.
But this
It is
would,
curb parking.
we have curb parking all along, for instance, the Union Pacific, along the commuter, that would be diagonal or even straight in curb parking.
Next to train station.
And we charge for that as well.
This isn't that. This
All right.
in the middle of winter, et cetera. This is exclusive
Be nice.
parking. It is exclusive
Be
parking.
nice. Be nice.
22 spaces reserved for, yeah.
We'll vote it down. Send it back.
Maybe we could talk to the parking committee about this.
After we vote it down and send it back to them.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, where are we?
We have a motion and a
Anybody
second.
else?
Yeah.
All right. All those in favor of ordinance 105-017?
106.
106, I'm sorry. 017 for introduction, say aye. All those opposed?
No.
No.
Okay, moving right along.
All right.
We're finished. Any new business?
We have no items for discussion this evening.
All right. Thank you very much, everybody. Planning and development will start at
The scheduled time of 7:15.
7:15. Okay.